The Hallyu Wave can be this new, exciting, fun experience, but I must admit that it is missing something, and that is a sprinkle of truth. Sometimes you just need that unfiltered truth or educated opinion in a wave that's based on fantasy, and that's where you need us. The sprinKle podcast was created by its 4 hosts, Alejandro, Immy, Kaylee, and Shari, that share many titles between them from YouTuber, digital journalist, radio DJ, and many, many more. Listen to our podcast where we bring up some unpopular opinions, bring some other facts to light, and educate these self-proclaimed K-pop fans. We won't be too harsh, just a sprinkle. Now enjoy episode 2. Welcome to episode 2 of the sprinKle podcast. I'm really excited. First of all, we all just want to say thank you for tuning in, for, your comments at the bottom of the video, positive responses, honest responses, and just everything, all the retweeting of the articles, Shari's articles, my articles, all the posts on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for supporting, and we are back. We're back to actually tell some stories and get into what you guys have really been waiting for. So as we go along in these next episodes in the next months, we're going to be expanding upon our likes and dislikes, but each host is going to kind of get their own episode to have a platform to talk about these things, and we as co-hosts will come on and co-sign or tell our own stories. So this is just insight on, I guess, different kind of experiences, different things that go on, and maybe you guys want to share some stuff in the comments. So we are taking this episode all the way to the UK, and I'm so excited. So this is Shari's episode, and she's going to share all the dirt, everything that you guys want to know, but we're going to start light and fluffy. Shari's going to take it away with some of her likes, and then we'll get into her dislikes. So let's hear it.
Hey everyone. So my first like is comebacks. It's always a big anticipation because all of a sudden out of nowhere your favorite will just have a random social media post like schedule coming soon, blah blah blah. So what I really like is the whole pre-promo before the comeback or the debut or whatever is actually out. And then also the promotion and marketing plans and strategies that are done throughout. So, for example, Shiny, we knew they were going to come back because it's their 10-year anniversary. All of a sudden, teaser drops. And you're just like, oh my God. So I like all of that because, everyone just kind of, it creates a conversation. Everyone just starts talking, hustling, bustling, and you get the schedule. Oh, these pictures are coming out. This is coming out, that kind of thing. So that's something I really like. It's done really well and really thought out. Secondly, what I like is when idols/artists kind of have had enough in a sense, and of course they're aware, some of them may or may not have their own social media accounts, but let's say the ones that do, they kind of start interacting with fans and defending themselves when they really stop caring. For example, prime example, Jackson of Got7, when he had that issue with the braids and everything, he did stay quiet. Dreads, he did stay quiet, and then he started to reply to fans, which actually shocked me. And of course his Instagram account is his private account, but then in a way it's to market him as well. And recently, I know you saw this as well, Immy, I see him commenting on Cardi B's pictures like queen.
I was like, oh no. Oh no.
And I was thinking, I bet he was itching, do I, don't I?
That's crazy.
But I'm sure you guys you might have seen, I think maybe a couple months ago, he liked accidentally this, I think she was Dominican, model, Instagram model, let's say, but her pictures are X-rated, and he unliked it. I don't know if you guys saw.
I actually went to following, because you know how you can check who likes who, when you go to your following tag on your I saw him like it, and I clicked it, and I was like, Jackson, my man, good.
I think it was an accident, not an accident that he was looking, an accident that he liked. So he probably thought, oh shit,
let me go back.
Some fans as well, I've realized they only have certain Instagram accounts just to follow celebrities. So with me, I follow over 1,000 people, friends and famous people. So I'm not going to really see everything in my feed. But this girl literally had 3 people in her feed, and it was Jackson Wang, and she screenshot it, and that's how I saw it, and I was like, wow. But yeah, so I rate Jackson. I don't care. Jackson, like, he's doing the most, but he kills me. It just, every time he does something, I'm just like waiting, what's he going to do next? So yeah, I like that, like, where some people are allowed to be a bit more free and a bit more loose. I don't know if it's because of the amount of time you've been out as an artist or how strict your company is, but yeah, I like that. But Jackson, like, ratings to Jackson, he kills me.
The devil works hard, but Jackson works harder.
Oh man, I just like that they're able to now. Instagram's like the like Korean thing to do, if that makes sense. A lot of like K-pop groups are on Twitter, but a lot of actors, a lot of comedians, a lot of singers and everything, they have an Instagram. That's like the Korean thing, to check out the hashtags. And so I love the fact that all of them are like branching out into Instagram first. You know, it's something simple. You post pictures. You don't have to make a tweet and delete it and act like it never happens, because as you know, in the Twitter sphere, there's no such thing as a deleted tweet. Someone screenshotted that. But I love that, Jackson aside, but like actually artists that like go solo and do what they want to do, that you're like, yes, they're free. Like, this is what I've been waiting for. We got Miss Yolin coming out, like throwing her ass around. We got Hoya that just came out with like a sexy song, and that girl in that video literally has her ass out. So it's like, I like that it's sad that it takes all these years, but they are able to like, okay, I'm gonna put in work, put my name out there, and then when I branch out, everyone's gonna pay attention to me, whether they're the most popular member or not. And then
I'm gonna unleash the hoe within.
Gonna unleash the hoe.
Not literally, but you know what I mean. Like, it's an expression.
We love a good hoe moment. We really do in this house.
And then waiting for like teasers and stuff to come out. I know personally, as someone that I feel like in this whole chat, I'm someone that got into K-pop later than everybody on this chat, and like, compared to American music and everything, like the teasers and stuff, like I never knew. I'm like, what is this schedule? Like, what are you guys scheduling? Like, don't you just drop the album on iTunes? But it was new to me to see that, oh my God, all these pictures come out and all these things. And I thought that they were just pictures until I had bought my first K-pop album. And I'm like, oh, it's like a photo booklet for like every time. It's not like a deluxe edition. It's not a separate repackage, which repackages, they amp it up too. You get like a whole box of an album and postcards and stuff inside. So I just appreciate that it like it also revamped my love to buy albums again, like the teasers and stuff, and getting excited. And because usually the only type of like excitement that we'd have for like American fans were like they drop the album cover and then they would drop the track list. That's it. So like these pictures or these like trailers to music videos and stuff, I'm like, what is this? I'm like, is this like a like what, are we in like Hollywood 2.0? Like, what's going on?
It's an event, like the biggest event.
I just feel like a good example of that would be just on Instagram the other day. I don't know if you guys saw, but it was like the beginning of the week. A$AP Rocky posted a picture and said 525. And, you know, obviously he was alluding to his album, but Tyler, the creator, commented on there, "Do you mean May 25th, you cryptic bitch?" And it was just like an example of how American artists never give teasers or anything. Yeah. So when you do something like that, you get one image and then it's over.
I feel like the most things American artists do to like hype up their album is that they release like the title track. Like, for example, like Ariana Grande released No Tears Left to Cry, but she hasn't dropped her album, and then you have to wait another 6 months for the album to release. But yet again, and along the road, maybe you'll get like one music video, maybe two, if you're lucky, maybe two. But then you have to wait like 6-7 months for the album to drop, and you're over here like, okay, girl, I want to listen to Jesus come down from the heavens above through your voice. But Korean artists, like they give you a reasonable span, like usually like a month, 2 months at most, and then they give you pictures, they give you album content, they give you highlight melodies, they give you
they're the best
fan signs, they give you everything, and then all of a sudden they give you the music video and they give you the album on the same day. Like, that's all I could ever ask for. And then album wise, when it comes to albums, you get these American albums and they come in the standard jewel case, and you're like, oh wow, that's so cute, but then it falls and then it breaks into a million pieces because it's plastic. And then they sell it for so much money. That's what's really brave of them. It's literally a standard jewel case, and they sell it for like what, $20-something, and I'm like, oh my god, no way am I paying
weird,
$20-something for a jewel case.
I don't know. When I got into K-pop and people were like, oh, do you have albums? I was like, I don't even have a CD player. Like, my laptop doesn't even have a CD drive. Like, do you know what I mean? So I found it really weird. But no, I agree. Like, it's just exciting to get the album that you're never going to play.
Yeah.
Because I've had
exactly.
iTunes anyway.
But it's just exciting, like, having the album and opening it, looking at all the pictures, and then the photo card is a really cool aspect. Like, I remember when I was, like, at the peak of my album collection, I would buy full photo card sets for GOT7.
Whoa.
And it was just, it's one of those feelings where you're just like, oh my god, I just need to collect them.
Wow.
And look at them. Like, when I do get albums, I just open them. I'm like, okay, and I put them away again for like forever. I don't do it.
I feel that.
I have to like go back and like revisit. Like, I feel like when I because I don't put them on like shelves. Like, I'm not at a place where like when I move, I want to put, you know, my posters up and put my albums that on a bookshelf. And someone's like, oh my god, you read? I'm like, yes, that is my favorite book right there, because all the albums look like books. All of us that like don't go to school be like, oh, but I keep up with my reading. I'm a scholar in music. And then be like, what? Oh yeah, open that.
You read?
They literally look like books. Like,
yeah,
the ones
they do.
I have anyway, stacked, they look like books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly. And then what really gets me mad is that they released albums in different like vertical album, and then one will be like a horizontal album. So you could never really put them in a nice, pretty way.
No, oh my god. Do you guys know what's her name? Tina Davidson?
If he really...
Is that on YouTube? Tina Davidson? I don't know if anyone that's listening, all the listeners know her.
Tina, the unboxing queen. Are you kidding me?
She's the one that can make like stocking albums look so like pretty and neat. She has them in like not even alphabetical order. She has them in like color schemes. Yeah. So like it looks neat. It looks like a pretty K-pop rainbow. I'm like, girl. And she has Japanese releases.
I feel like buying albums is like HGTV for like K-pop people. Like, you've got this small budget and you gotta figure out a way to make it work, and then you gotta decorate your shelves with all these weird things and weird like albums. Like, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how to bargain shop. I mean, like, I can thrift and things like that, but when it comes to albums, people are always telling me, oh, I got these like 84 albums for like $50, and I'm like, how did you do that? Because I walked out of Choreo in New York with like 3 albums and negative $250 in my bank account.
I will say that I have dabbled in the black arts of album buying. So there are a few websites out there that are just very like, they look sketchy. I will admit that they look sketchy, but you can get really good albums at some really cheap prices. I know that I have a few GOT7 like Japanese releases specifically that they're dirt cheap. Like, I got them for like what, like $5 maybe, and most of them go for like $30.
Wow.
So there are some sketchy sites out there that you can actually get cheap items, but you have to make sure that you find them through legitimate sources.
Recently as well, like yesterday on Twitter somewhere, someone tweeted and was like, be careful, this person on eBay is selling fake, you know, like signed albums, fake signed Monster X albums. And I was like, I don't know their signatures, but just looking at these, you can tell they're fake because
I know their signatures.
And I'm just like, how would you even fall for that? I don't know their signatures, but like, that looks weird.
There's a community out there called it's basically a Facebook group called the Legit Buyers and Sellers Group, and it's like there's so many people in it, and it's like people who have literally provided proof that they have had transactions and they've all been successful. But at the same time, you also run the risk of something like that happening, like an album getting lost or getting damaged along the way, and all of a sudden somebody writes a really bad review about you through this buyers and sellers group or the buying and selling K-pop group on Facebook. So when selling K-pop merchandise, you have to be very careful, and you always have to like dot your I's and cross your T's, because let me tell you, I was accused of scamming one time. Let's serve some tea on myself. I was accused of scamming one time. Some girl said that I scammed her out of like $100-something, like 190, 180, some crazy shit like that. And I was just like, oh, sweetie, I am a broke-ass college student. If I would have scammed you out of $180, I am a mastermind, let me tell you. No, but she's like, yeah, you scammed me on Tumblr. And I was just like, sweetie, I haven't used Tumblr in a good hot minute.
What?
So she just approached you and said like, "Hey, you scammed me."
No, so I went on Facebook and I posted like some photos of like the albums that I was selling. I made like a whole little post like with the prices, including photo cards, it'd be this much, or if I'm selling photo cards separately, it'd be this much, plus shipping and handling. So I made a cute little post about it. And then all of a sudden, under that same post, she comments, "Don't buy from this guy. He scammed me for $180." And I was like,
what?
I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
Someone's probably like copied your screenshot your post and like the way your albums are laid out in the picture. She's like, hold on, I've seen this picture before. Yeah, they probably just did that. It happens all the time.
So speaking of scamming, we have some dislikes that Shari is going to talk about because we as international fans feel like we get scammed every now and always and again. So go ahead, Shari, talk about your dislikes. Sorry, we about to get hot. All right, go ahead.
I can tell this is very sensitive. It's very close to your heart. So, my first dislike is scalpers / non-fans who buy tickets. Okay, so obviously scalpers we know are just checking out to see what the latest concert is, how can they make money, blah, blah, blah. But they're annoying, but it's more annoying when it's non-fans who buy tickets and don't even know the names of these people in the groups, all their faces, all their songs. And then you see them on Twitter like, oh, I just got a VVIP. Okay, VVIP in Europe is P1 or, or VIP. Oh, I got a VVIP to see Monster X. Oh, now I need to learn their names and faces. While Shari is there on pre-sale day and general ticket sale day, at work, trying to buy tickets, trying to get VVIP, trying to get P1 for that 5 millisecond high touch. And then you're telling me you don't even know their names. And it's just ridiculous. Like, I get it, okay, you like K-pop, but don't force it. I just feel like a lot of these, not all, but I feel like a lot of young fans at concerts I've been to, like, they're just kind of there because they're Korean and oh my god, they're so good looking, and they'll breathe and they're screaming, I love you, oh my god, and I'm just like, okay, can I hear what they're saying? Like, it's just fetish. You just want to be there because they're Korean or because they're Asian.
They're the ones screaming, oh my god, I love you, I love you, I love you, instead of singing along.
No, they aren't even doing it in English. They're the ones that go, Oppa Saraya! I'm like, yo, can you chill, sis?
My favorite ones are the ones that constantly scream their name while they're talking.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, like Kihyun is talking, and all of a sudden you hear somebody in the audience, Kihyun!
Oh my god.
Like, I'm just like, oh girl, is you okay over there?
Monster X concert, they were throwing out candy. My little cute little 21 at that time? 21-year-old self walked over to the stage, waiting patiently for my bias to hand me my candy. I was just staring. I liked being up close. I wasn't screaming their names, trying to scare them. There is this girl that is shorter than me. Mind you, I'm tall, so everyone's shorter than me, but she was young. And her boobs is on my back. And sis is like, Kihyun! I'm like, sis, if you weren't 12, I would elbow you dead in your face. If we were the same age or you was over 18, like, we would be scrapping right now. But I'm trying to get my candy. And also something very respectful that Young K did was at the New York show for Day 6's first tour. When Wonpil was talking, which when they're talking, like, shut the frig up. This is like their time to talk. We need to hear them. So someone screamed, I love you, Young K. And Young K went into the mic. I swear to God, he looked at the bitch because I don't know, he found her somewhere. Looked into her eyes and was like, this is Wonpil's time. I was like, oh, you better let them know that it is Wonpil's time. Shut up. Dang. So annoying.
I feel that.
So annoying.
And it's just like, okay, I know fans are getting younger and younger, and I'm of age as well, and it's just like, oh my god, like, I just stand there and I'm like, I literally say, can you shut up? Like, I want to hear them. Can you be quiet? Like, why are you screaming? They're just breathing. They blinked.
And they get scared. Like, they get dead. Like, they look like a rabbit in headlights. And they can't, and most of all, they can't hear themselves. And when they have a translator, they cannot hear the translator. And that's part of their job is to communicate with you through the translator. So if the translator can't hear what they're saying and they can't even hear what the other member is saying, we can't understand what the heck is going on. And then the whole fan event, the concert, everything you pay for looks like a hot mess. Like, when NCT performed at that little Apple Store thing, I was scared for them. Like, the way that they was looking, they was all looking at the ground. Haechan, who's not even of age, is like, where is my mother right now? Like, where is NCT Dream? Like, I need to go back to chewing gum. Like, this is not what I'm here for. Poor Win-Win, who's a child, was like, oh oh my God, I can't even understand Korean, let alone English. I don't know what the frick is going on. Like, they were so loud and disrespectful. I'm like, can you guys, like, be quiet and stop foaming at the mouth? Like, it's a little too much. It's really, really too much.
I have a theory that the translators at the concerts half of the time don't even know what the artists are saying because there's just so much screaming going on. So I feel like they listen to like half of the sentence and they just formulate the other half.
And it gives international fans a bad rep too, because in March in Zion T's concert in New York, you know, there are a few people I can understand basic Korean. And from what I got from what he was saying, you know, he basically said you can easily tell the difference between Korean fans and non-Korean fans because when the artist talks, Korean fans will shut up. You know, international fans will yell, and, you know, obviously people who have been in the K-pop game for a while and who can understand Korean, understand the respect that comes along with paying to see these artists and, you know, what you're there for, they'll be quiet. But he said that it's easily distinguishable between the international fans and the Korean fans because the Korean fans know that they're there to see the artist and they're not there to hear other people scream in the crowd.
It's true. It's like, it's not a One Direction concert, okay? Like,
I've been to 3 of those.
No. Wow.
I've been to 3, and I could attest that it is an American thing to like just scream and want to be paid attention to and really just. And I get that you're hot, and I've never done that. Like, I really want to. Hearing the artist, any artist sing is just as important as hearing their talk voice, especially if they in Korean. Like, you see me in the whole time on the floor being like, oh my God, like, speak that shit. Like, please, I don't know what you're saying, but talk to me, please. And everybody always talking over them. And I'm like, do you not hear that this godliness is, like, can you please be quiet? So it is an American thing to just scream and want to get attention, and, you know, you're hot. Usually at other shows, you know, alcohol is served, or if you go to a hip-hop concert, people passing a doobie around. So it's like, it's a different culture, and people are taking pictures. They want to remember the moment. I definitely understand to a point, but the screaming when they talking is so disrespectful. And we as international fans, we wait so long, and we pay so much. And I understand that that's your excuse, that you want to have a good time. But if you're going to commit to being a K-pop fan and be about that K-pop life, then you need to at least, you know, give and take. I get that you've been waiting in line for 10 hours and now you're here and now you can't even believe that you staring at Wonho's shoelace. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But like, it's not that they won't ever come again. Let's not say that. Like, they're at a point in time where everyone's going to start coming over here, girl groups as well. So I feel like we need to start proving to them or putting together certain organizations or events like UK Mum Bebe, like certain things like that, where at least putting on fan like projects is great, but there should be like certain guidelines and stuff, and that has to go back to Korea when there's fan cafes and where there's fan leaders. I know Shari talked about having like the head of Monsta X's fan club of whatever music show she went to was like,
turn me away from the damn music show.
Yeah,
who are you? You ain't no one.
That's she's still hot about that one. But even like those things, like at least there's some order. I get like not being totally controlling and this is America, this is South America, this is Europe. I get that we have different freedoms and cultures, but at least let's try and find some norm for these artists so they can feel and act normal. The way that they act, I don't care what nobody says, the way that they like act on stage when it's time for them to talk, they act so different than when they're in Korea or where someone can understand them. Like, it's a different feeling, which is fine. I'm not saying like that they're being fake or they're da-da-da, but it's different when you're in a different country and you know that your language is like less than 1% of being spoken in all of 50 states or all of Europe. Like, it's different. So just like, I don't know, like just take it back. Like if you all the way at 100, I need you to be at like a 98, sis. Like I really do, because it's too much. It's too much. And I don't know if it's me getting older, like, but when I was at One Direction concerts, I was chill. Okay, I was chill. There's points and moments where you can do so, and like the yelling and the pushing and the children, I just want to slap all of you, but you're not 18. I really
But
do.
you know what? You know, you said, it's an American thing with the screaming, and, you know, it's not. I find, like, well, in London anyway, it's the young K-pop fans, like, screaming when they're talking, because everyone is just, like, well, people who are, like, okay, not, like, 12, 13, 14, 15, no one's screaming and shouting when they're talking apart from the kids. And the more like concerts I go to, events I go to as press, like everyone's younger and younger, especially for the less popular groups. It just does my head in. I'm just thinking, be quiet. And then I realized you don't even know the songs. Like, I don't hear you singing. Like
there's a lot of people like that, and like there's a lot of people that you notice like now you can tell because a lot of their parents go. You can see, and that's something that at the same time, I get that you want your baby to be safe. I get that we just had a Manchester happen last year. I understand that you want your baby to be safe. I'm someone that went to Cheetah Girls concert, High School Musical, and my mother was there, but she enjoyed the music. There's a lot of times where I see parents and they're like sitting down and they're like, I'm here with this K-pop shit because my daughter or son wanted to, and I respect that because you're able to. I get that you're able to sit down and you know if there's no alcohol, the dad's dying. I see one dad in KCON, he was like, holy shit, I need a Budweiser or something, and I was like, my dude, I feel you.
I look at them, I'm like, oh yeah, so who's your favorite? And they're just like,
it's like what my daughter's favorite is. I love talking to them because when you like talk to the parents, it makes them feel like next time they can let their kids go by themselves, or they have like a good community to be around. Because again, whatever respected country you're in listening to this right now, like it's different for different that's not K-pop events. Like you call venues and you're like, hi, I just need to, like before tickets go on sale, you're like, hi, I just need to know like which seatings are like P1 and P2 so I know what to get. And they're like, excuse me? Like, what are you talking about? So like the venues don't really know 100% either. And that is going on to what Shari was also another dislike of hers was talking about the relationship of the companies, like the actual Korean music companies that these artists come from, and the companies that host them coming over here, and the venues that host them performing on stage. So do you want to expound upon that?
So, bad organizations of concerts. So, I know that because at a few events I've been to, like there are people who are in charge for tourism and music, like distribution between the United Kingdom and Korea. There probably is the same, there's some kind of ambassador for each country. It's like that everywhere. But I feel like these entertainment companies need someone above them, like a commissioner of some kind of commissioner of some sort, to be like, okay, so these people are coming. I know the events companies are the ones who host it and organize it, whatever, but I feel like stuff needs to be delegated to these events companies from someone higher up, because organization of concerts is terrible. It's embarrassing. The stuff that happens in Europe, in America, would never happen in Korea. It would not be allowed. So, for example, I went to see South Club, Namtaehan and South Club on the 20th of April, and first of all, I tried to apply for press. That's another story, anywho. So I bought a ticket. I got early entry and high touch. And so I was supposed to be let in at 7:15 in the evening. And then you would go in, have your high touch, and then you'd go back out, and then the concert would start or whatever. So I get there now for like 7:15, 6:45. And I can see like it's really empty outside and there's just a few people. I'm like, is this everyone? They're like, no, early entry went in like about 20 minutes ago. And I was like, okay. So I got to a staff member and I was like, excuse me, I have early entry and high touch, and that's at 7:15. Oh yeah, we let early entry in already, and the high touch event's already happened. I was like, why? My ticket said 7:15. Your event page says 7:15. Your website says 7:15. I was like, that's not good enough. I was like, so I've not got my early entry. Everyone's gone ahead of me. Now I'm going in with general, and what are you going to do about the high touch? I paid £55. They were like, oh, don't worry. Yeah, you'll get to meet them at the end of the show. It's not just you. There's quite a lot of people. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I go in and I'm like right at the back, obviously. I thought, whatever, is what it is. Then they make an announcement. All the people who didn't get their high touch or their photo, because I'm guessing some gold members, gold or platinum or whatever, missed their photo. Please stay behind and meet and stay at the bar. So we're waiting at this bar. Bearing in mind there are many bars in the venue. We're waiting there for about 20 minutes. Oh, sorry guys, can you go to the other bar? We go to the other bar. Another like 15, 20 minutes. Oh, sorry guys, can you all line up against this wall? Okay, so we're at the wall now. Then I can just hear like beat crazes, predominantly women, like young girls. they're all whispering, but they're not whispering enough. So they're like, oh, what do we do? Because now, like, we're going to have to give them, like, a signed poster or something, blah, blah, blah. So I'm in a line with loads of girls, and I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. So all the girls were really young, and my friends are waiting for me. So then I see that, like, one girl from Beat Craze takes out a couple of people from the queue, like she's picking and choosing her friends or something to go meet South Club. And I was like, okay. And then I go up to them and I'm like, excuse me, I can hear you saying that the high touch can't happen now. And first of all, one of your staff is picking and choosing people. And now you're saying there's no high touch and you want to give us a signed poster. I was like, can you please just announce it to everyone so I can go home? It's been a long day. Do you know what I mean? Why did you let people in before the stated time on the ticket? Oh, well, it was out of our control. We had to go ahead of schedule. I was like, no, it's not good enough. I was like, I don't want a signed poster. They were like, oh, well, just give us your ticket. We'll take a picture of it and we'll email you and we'll arrange, delivery of the signed poster. I was like, okay, well, instead of standing around, I wasn't even rude. I was just being real. Like, you can't just stand there and not tell anyone anything after moving us here and there. So I left. I get home now. The tour carried on to Paris and wherever else, I don't know. And 2 days have passed. So I messaged them and I was like, on Facebook, I was like, yeah, so I'm one of the people who didn't get the high touch. I haven't heard anything from you. They read the message, didn't say anything. So I was like, okay, messaged again. I was like, it's been a week. This is getting ridiculous. I sent like some long message, blah, blah, blah. We're really sorry. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to send you an email now because, like, obviously you're not very good at corresponding via Facebook, blah, blah, blah. I sent a long email which said, I think you should give me a refund because I didn't get what I paid for. Then they reply and say, oh, we'll be willing to give you a standard poster and £10 compensation. I don't want no damn standard poster, okay?
Wow.
First of all, it was meant to be signed. Now it's gone from signed to being a poster and £10. No. Refund me my ticket. So we're going back and forth via email now. And they were just like, no. They were like, the high touch happened. And I was like, I know it happened, but it didn't happen for me and many others. I'm not concerned. They were like, oh, it wasn't our fault, blah, blah, blah. And I said, this is really ridiculous. It's unprofessional. You're not taking any responsibility. All of the correspondence we've had via Facebook message and email, you've been really slack with it. So then I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll be nice. Just give me the difference of the general and my early entry ticket, which was 20-25. They were like, no, the offer of £10 compensation and a standard poster still stands. So then I got legal on them. Mm-hmm. And I started mentioning like the 2005 or 1990 something UK Consumer Rights Act or something that I got on Google, but fake
it till you make it. Fake it till you make it.
It's kind of half fake, half not. But there's a lot of acts in the United Kingdom, the 1999 Act of whatever. So then when I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go to a financial ombudsman now. Please let me know if you'll give me the refund between the two tickets, or I'll stop corresponding with you via email and I'll go to a financial ombudsman who will then liaise with you further. Then they were like, oh yeah, we're going to give you the refund of the difference between two tickets. Can you please send us your account number and sort code? And I was like, via email. I was like, I don't think so. Are you crazy? I was like, PayPal me. Oh, unfortunately, we can't PayPal. I was like, do you really think I'm going to give you my bank details via email with your track record? I don't think so, mate. But then it got to a point where it dragged on too long, and I was like, I trust that you will keep my details secure. So I gave them my details. They refunded me £20. They just took no responsibility for it. The wording of the emails, like, it was just terrible. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think it's just basic. Don't promise. It's just basic common sense. Don't promise something like, oh, you were going to give you a signed poster. Did you ask South Club and their management if you could give signed posters? No, you didn't. And I knew I wouldn't get a signed poster, which is why you then slyly tried to be like, oh, yeah, a standard poster and £10.
Wow. This reminds me of the biggest incident, well, one of the biggest incidents in American K-pop history.
What happened?
It has to do with the BTS's The Red Bullet tour.
Yes.
Oh my god, I was waiting for somebody to whip that out.
An iconic instance.
Okay,
a staple in K-pop history here in the US.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I do know, but I don't know. Refresh my memory.
For those of us listening, or anyone that is around the world listening, there was an incident in 2015 with BTS's The Red Bullet tour with the entertainment company TGM. I don't remember what TGM stands for. Alejandro or Kaylee, you guys were like in K-pop at that point. I just went back and did my research. So any other extra nuggets you guys have, like, sprinkle them as I go. But what had happened was TGM oversold BTS tickets to the Red Bullet tour in Atlanta. And then while fans were waiting hours and hours outside, and if I do recall, if I see the pictures as I do right now, like it was raining. It was raining outside all day.
It was raining.
And so then they had a message that they gave people that were waiting out line. I'm looking at it right now. It says, "We're sorry the venue is at capacity. We will give you a full refund as well as a group photo and high touch with BTS after the show. Please write your name and email address and we will give you the full refund, name, phone number, initials," and they had people fill it out. So people continue to wait in the rain, hearing BTS perform, knowing that they bought tickets, not meeting them. So after, there is a video that is actually online. I'm going to link it in the description box for those of you that don't know if you want to see what had happened. It has over 45,000 views. And what had happened was they waited outside for now over 5 hours. This is after this is after the concert. So they have waited outside. Concerts end usually when they start, usually around like 8-ish. They usually end around 10. Plus other people that got high touches and stuff that actually paid for them. Got them. So now we're looking at 11 o'clock. Mind you, in America, certain venues, they start charging you if you're going to have anyone in the venue past midnight. You get like a $20,000 fine. Like, it's not a little fine. It depends. I know TD Garden is $20,000. It depends. It happened when Rihanna came on late. So these were people waiting outside, and then the comment in this video said, "We had to wait outside for 5 hours, and then they promised us a high touch and group photo. But no, BTS didn't even know that fans were waiting for them, and TGM didn't tell them, so they had left." So the video pursues to have like staff on the stage, just like you said, they're talking to each other, and you have mind you in Atlanta, so you got a lot of melanin people waiting for BTS. They not gonna be so nice. So you got one black girl that's like, "I'm sitting out here all night." Shit. She's like, "Get the van." She's like, "They ain't on a flight yet. Go and get them. Like, we ain't playing this game with y'all." Like, I just waited outside in the rain for over like 12, 14 hours. Mind you,
my God.
TGM had an incident with Eric Nam where they did the same thing earlier in the year.
Oh, yeah, where they said they were going to bring, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to bring Eric Nam." They put tickets on sale. People bought tickets, this and that. Where did Eric Nam go? Not America. What? Eric Nam never came.
Yes. But he must have seen the tickets being advertised, right? Like, that's weird.
No. Mind you, TGM no longer exists after that Red Bullet train incident.
Exactly. And in 2015, like, K-pop Twitter wasn't as popping back then. You guys vouch for me. Like, K-pop Twitter wasn't like it is now, where you have people literally talking to the actual companies like, Wire got 7 tickets on sale, $1,000, and y'all haven't even released tickets dates. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't there wasn't that kind of thing just 3 years ago. So, like, that reminds me of what you just went through to say, like, but it's still going on in Europe. Like, this is 2018. She's telling this story, and she's also someone that went to K-pop night. She's had unlimited press. Like, she has so many stories. Like, I feel like we need like a little separate like extra little 30-minute video to tell your stories, and I'll be willing to post it because she tells me so much dirt on these companies. Stories. You guys have no idea. So, like, just going back to ticketing, like what you were saying, we're gonna expound a little bit upon that now. Like, just talking about ticketing. So any Alejandro or Kaylee, for those of you that you've been to, Alejandro's been to events and Kaylee's been to concerts. Do you guys want to expound upon any of your ticketing experience, and then we'll just dabble along in the back after you guys?
Yes, I think I'll start off with like the first event I ever went to was like Top Dog in Miami. And I got a free high touch with them because they came to the K-pop store in Fort Lauderdale. And it was just like an event, and it was like a free high touch event. And I was like, okay. And then I worked the event and I got to high touch them twice. So that was a cute little free perk that I had. But when it came to like ticket sales, I promise you the most expensive ticket was probably like $90.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, because they were a really underrated group, and the company that brought them was like Jazzy Group. They haven't done anything for a hot minute. I don't know where they're at, but they've always hosted pretty decent events. And it was an okay event. Like, I had fun. I had, for the ticket value that it was definitely worth it. But then we go into like more extensive concerts, like GOT7, for example. GOT7 here in Miami. Tickets were a nightmare to buy. School hasn't even given me the level of anxiety that buying K-pop tickets gave me.
True.
I'm telling you,
College is nothing compared to ticket sales.
It's crazy.
The point where you're sitting there waiting, you're like checking the time. When I was trying to buy tickets for GOT7, like for this year, my knees were shaking, and I was like, "What the hell's wrong with me? Why are my knees shaking as I'm watching the time go by?"
It's a thing. You can ask Immy. When I was buying Zion T tickets, Zion T isn't even like extremely popular. I was having almost a legit panic attack while I was on the phone with Immy, like trying to buy a Zion T ticket.
Yeah, I remember when GOT7 first came on tour. Let's go back to Fly. When GOT7 first came on tour for Fly, I was shitting bricks. I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna buy tickets? I don't know. And then I had like 6-7 friends on different computers who are like, guys, we need to buy these tickets. We need to get good seats. I need P1. Mind you, we go into tickets. Ticket sale time came, and we went into the ticket store, and then no tickets were found. I got off. Mind you, we were there on time. We were there 30 minutes before tickets went on sale, and we were just like, okay, guys, we're gonna do this. The most somebody got was like maybe like P4 tickets, and I was just like, oh, sweetie, I am not gonna sit in the nosebleed section for GOT7. So then we were like, you know what? Let's just go to another event, and we went to KCON. And then fast forward to GOT7 in Miami. So we found P2 tickets, and I was like, okay, I get to high touch them. Good enough, but those tickets were like $300 some, I believe. So it was like $300 some to go to a concert, and then and I was expecting, I was like, you know what, I paid $300. I'm gonna take my sweet ass time with this high touch. So you best believe my ass got on stage. I looked each one of them in the eye, and I held their hand, and I was like, I love you. When I got to Mark, he was just like, I know you, and I was like,
oh my God.
No.
He's like, you're on YouTube. I've seen your reactions. And I was like,
oh my God.
And I feel like that just that instance alone made the $300 worth it for me.
But no one understands here. Alejandro's reaction videos to GOT7 is literally like the most like uncensored reactions ever. Like, he out here like, you give us his bias when he did his. I still remember watching your Fly first album, listening, and when it came to Fish and there's that ass clapping song, you literally clapped your ass, and that's like Mark is seeing that. Like, he out here like just.
Wait a minute, I know that ass.
Yeah.
If only he knew the ass. Oh. In comparison to that event, there's K-pop all night. The DJ actually plays K-pop. They serve alcoholic beverages. I'm actually going to a K-pop all night event that they're bringing Nada from What's Up.
Oh.
So let me tell you, okay, so this is a huge scam. This is a huge scam right here, guys. Let me spill this tea. So they originally charged $20 for general admission, right? With no perks, just $20 general admission. You go in, you dance. Mind you, this event is bring your own beer. What? It's BYOB. So, and it's an it's an all-age event. So I'm like, okay, so how will they monitor underage drinking if it's bring your own beer?
Ooh.
So they charge $20 general admission, $30 for like maybe like a poster, and then $35, $40 for like a picture with her as a group, and then $50 for like a single picture with her. I don't know the exact price points, but it's around that price range. And then all of a sudden, literally 2 days ago, they were like, hey guys, they're celebrating God knows how many years of being open, like maybe like 2, 3, I don't know. And then they were like, we're making general admission tickets $1. Mind you, there was already people who had spent $20 for general admission.
What?
Wait,
It probably hadn't sold very well, that's why.
That wasn't like I wasn't seeing things because, okay, I went onto their website yesterday to go buy a ticket and I saw general admission for us was $30, getting a group picture with her was like $50, and then a solo picture was $75, and then you see this thing that's like general promo and it's $1.
It's $1, and guess who's going to this event for $1? Sorry, but as much as I want to support, like I'm supporting by going, but like, honey, you're bringing Nada from What's Up. Like, yeah, she was on Pretty Rap Star 3, but like charging that much? Yikes, sweetie. Bring those price points down. And it's not a very good venue, mind you. I'm pretty sure it's really hard to find a venue down here in Miami because it's Miami, and the venues here are super expensive to like rent out. Especially when it comes to like a club setting, but at the same time, like if you don't have the money, just don't do it. Just don't come, or else like find like a better, cheaper place. Like I appreciate that you're coming to Miami, but if you're really gonna make it that shitty, just don't do it, sweetie. Because then people are gonna talk shit about your event, and then you compromise your future events.
It's like you want to go and support, but then you're like, my expectations gonna be met.
So you expect the company to like respond to the people being like, hey, I paid $20 for this general admission, so I don't really think it's fair that like, you know, am I gonna get compensated for the other, like, because with service fees and everything, I believe the ticket came out to like $4.03. Yeah. So they were like, hey, are we gonna get compensated for the difference? Because it's not really fair that at the last minute you decided to make ticket prices like $1. And then they didn't respond at all to them.
Well,
zero acknowledgement to them.
Shari is someone that has the whole mishap that every Mon Bebe was on, because that was the biggest group that went there, that was headlining. That was Monsta X. Shari actually went to K-pop night. For those of us that were on Twitter and saw the pictures of how big the venue was, but how small, that, you know, there wasn't a translator. Shari actually had an experience where people were charging how much for a meet and greet for 7, and then some people just got to go in there for free at the last minute.
Yeah.
And then was told to act like you were so-and-so's fan.
Yeah. You see, so basically I was meant to have a part 3 of my video, and my laptop malfunctioned, so I edited it all and it all got corrupted, and people were like, when's part 3 coming out? So 7's meet and greet was like £450.
It was like pounds. It'd be $532.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically what happened was, so K-pop night, I'm sure everyone knows the backstory, so let's talk about tickets. So tickets were £160 first of all. When I saw it was 120. People are like, no, we paid 160. Then some people I spoke to in the line were like, we paid £350. And I'm like, what for? They're like, for the concert. And then 7, his meet and greet was $450, not including the ticket for the concert, including Tahiti.
That is
Monster
crazy.
X. Yeah,
Oh
Tahiti, Monster X, 7 o'clock. So then, of course, I'm pressed, quote unquote, with some other people, and we go into the building. Monster X come in like sparsely. Monster X are in the same room as us, but behind the curtain. Blah blah blah. No interview. Blah blah. Then the security of Wembley Arena are like, okay, are you going to let these guys interview this group or not? Because you need to be out because there's a meet and greet, which is 7's meet and greet. So the Monster X interview didn't happen, blah, blah, whatever. That's another story. So the security at Wembley is like, you do know that they sold 4 meet and greet tickets for 7. I was like, pardon? They were like, yeah, 4. So I saw the 4 people. They were like, maybe they were students here. They were like from Korea. They were like Korean, not British Korean. They were Koreans. So they paid this money to meet 7. So they were like, they need to fill the room. So you guys can stay, actually. They told us, K-pop night told us to kick all of you out after there was no interview with Monster X. But because they want to make up the numbers and make 7 think that he sold a lot, you can stay. So that was about 10 of us, press people. Then they went to the queue outside and brought people in. These people in the queue were Monster X fans. No one came to see Tahiti or 7 o'clock. So all these young girls come in, and I'm like, these girls don't look old enough to even know who 7 is. Like, and I doubt they're fans of 7. So K-pop night guy, his name was Joshua. So he's like, okay, so when 7 comes in, you need to act really excited.
Wow.
Wow.
People there, we're standing there with our mouths dropped open because our heads are spinning. Because first of all, Monster X apparently like through, like, we're just like, no, we don't feel like doing an interview. This is what we think. So we're just pissed, yeah. And then the whole queue is basically inside, well, the standing queue. Yeah, so when he comes in, clap and be happy, da 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 da. And we were just like, we said nothing. So we were like kind of towards a bit behind everyone. So we were near them, but you could see we were separate. So obviously Seven's probably thinking, why are these like 10 girls just like sitting there with their mouths open in silence? Do you know what I mean? Because we were just shocked. And I was like, this is really bad. So he walks in and everyone's like, yeah. And then like Josh stands behind Seven and starts like, you know, going like raising his arms up, going, yeah, like, you know, scream. And I'm thinking, no way. So we're all just looking at each other. We're like, no.
I couldn't.
So
that's rough.
So then like, obviously like it's awkward. So Seven's like, yeah, so thanks for coming. He knows something's wrong. So then obviously some people are like, oh, how was your flight? Do you like London? And he's like, oh, so which of my songs do you like? Because he knows. So I'm just like, boy, like, they don't know.
Digital bounce.
Yeah. And he was like, so you guys like my music? Yeah. And then Josh is behind them, like, going like, yeah. And he's like, so what's your favourite song? And they're like, yeah. Have you been to the London Eye? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking, oh my God. Like, you can just tell he knows something's wrong because all 10 of us are there just like in shock.
All 10 of us.
The real ones.
The real ones. And then they start taking pictures or whatever, like with the fans, whatever, blah, blah. And I'm like, and then like one of the organisers is like, okay, can you give me your interview questions? And I was like, my interview questions are written for Monster X. Well, can you write some for Seven? I was like, no, I don't want to write any for Seven. He was like, well, you guys need to interview Seven. So like, he was trying to force all of us. So I was like, okay, here are 3 questions. He took them away. He must have gone to Seven's manager to check them. And I was like, I don't want to do this damn interview with Seven, which changed from Monster X to 7 o'clock, then to 7. And then he came back and was like, yeah, you can interview him. And then the Wembley Arena security guard, Steve, who was like the realist, like for real. He was like, okay, if you guys don't want to be at the back, then come with me now. Or you can stay here and interview Seven. So obviously, Seven's confused, like, because obviously he's thinking, why are these people not interviewing me? So we're all walking out. And the security guard and the helper of Josh is like, they're like arguing. And Seven's looking at them confused. And we're all just walking out and he's looking at us. And I'm just like, sorry, gotta go. Like, I need to be front row to see Monster X. See you later.
Mind you, like, she was already, like, upset. Like, me and her were messaging each other, and this was after hours of sitting. Literally, a curtain behind Monster X told that you were going to interview them. There's a bunch of stuff. You guys, I'll link her videos down below. This was already her waiting outside and then being told yes, being told no, then being literally a curtain away from your opportunity, being told yes, being told no, and then being like, okay, do this, and then you don't want to do it. You know, you're already in a shitty mood. So, like, those of you that are like, oh, why would you mess up an opportunity to interview, like, someone that's a Korean artist, blah, blah, blah. She was already hot and already,
I wasn't prepared for Seven,
yeah,
to be honest. And side note, Monster X never agreed to it. They didn't know, because basically they made it seem like, oh yeah, they agreed to it, and now they're saying no, because what Josh said to us was, oh, they're not going to do it now, they're snobby. And he said it right next to the curtain. Yeah. And I was like, you might want to be quiet because they're right there, but whatever. But yeah, they never agreed to it. So I can't really give details, but basically I know that IM said to someone that I can't mention. So IM basically said they dropped it on them last minute, and their manager said no, because it wasn't a scheduled or sorted out booked interview.
I'm gonna link those videos down below for you guys to go see, to hear more about like dirt on K-pop night. Like
the whole press thing, you kind of have to roll with the punches sometimes. That's another dislike. So bad treatment of press. You have to roll with the punches. Sometimes it's like you're being emailed by companies and they're like, yeah, so this is the time you have to be here. This is what's going to happen. You get there, things don't pan out. Like, I went to a couple weeks ago, K Music Showcase. I was promised interview with 3 artists, 3 time slots. Then I got there and things changed. I was like, okay, it is what it is. A lot of times it's like presses fighting with like the actual management company of the group, not like physically, but like they'll come up to you and be like, no pictures. And I'm like, I'm press. And you show them your press pass. and they're like, no, and they're blocking your camera, and I'm thinking, what the hell? Like, have you not spoken to the event company? So you have to go traipsing around and find the event company and be like, they're not letting me take pictures or record. And I'm like, have you not told them what press do? Do you know what I mean? And then they go and tell them, and then they're like, no pictures of our groups, blah, 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 no videos. And I'm thinking, you know what, this is ridiculous. So that's why I just feel like there's got to be some change, because I don't understand why these companies, like, I'm not saying they're all bad, but time and time again, you run events and the same shit happens over and over and over and over.
I think that with these companies, it's so frustrating on us as fans standpoint, because a lot of us don't know like the insides or the outsides. So people are so demanding on Twitter. They want to know right when things happen. And ticket sales is something different. I understand you need to know where you're going to leave, if you're going to leave your state to go see them, how you're going to stay, you know, is it around peak time for hotels? I get that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is there needs to be some type of consistency where we can enjoy, where the artists can enjoy concerts as if they're in Korea, and we at the same time can enjoy the act as if we're, you know, in our respective country enjoying. We don't have to worry about, oh, if I don't get on time, if I don't come on time to get my wristband, oh, blah, 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 what if this happens? There's a lot of times where t-shirts or merchandise will sell out. Like, you guys know how much tickets are sold in a venue. If it's a sold out show and you have sold out shows for every tour, you should have printed over the amount, because you can always sell stuff later. There's so many things that happen from a fan standpoint that's a little bit like, it's just getting tiring. Like, you show up to the merch table, there's no more t-shirts left. You ran out of light sticks. Like, you know your numbers. You know your numbers, and I think that these companies that bring these groups over here, they do an amazing, well, the ones that I've been to, the events that I've been to, they really do an amazing job. No one's really ever given me a hard time, and they do an amazing job, but I feel like they're trying to cater too much to like what the artist wants and be like, oh, well, the fans are gonna love it no matter what. You know, like, oh, they're still gonna pay like $700 resale, $600 resale. They're still gonna, you know, want to do this or do that. And I think that's the wrong mindset. I feel like I feel like these companies don't speak up because they're scared. Like, you're scared to speak up against Starship. You're scared to speak up against JYP and be like, no, this is how we do it in America. This is how we do it in Europe. This is how we do it in South America. Like, you know, there needs to be some give and take. And I feel like these Korean companies are putting their foot down and being like, no, this is what we're gonna do. And then the companies are like, okay, well, we'll just, you know, like, put this little email out or do a frequently asked questions or direct people to our frequently asked questions, and we'll be all right as long as they give us their money. And I feel like the venues, like, now a lot of venues, like I said, don't know about K-pop events. Like, it's different when you see the security guards and their faces are looking like, seeing the girls scream, like, do y'all even know what they're saying? Like, that's one of the funniest parts is the security guards' faces. But
it's just like, where's the respect? Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, you're bringing your artist here. You know we're going to pay anything.
Exactly.
But where is the respect? First of all, we're not going to get what your fans would get. So they're going to pay 100,000 won, yeah? It's going to be a good show. There's not going to be anything wrong. You know, no one's going to be, you know, nothing wrong. Yeah, they're going to have their fan sign, whatever. We need to respect your culture. But if you're going to come out into the West, you need to understand that things run a certain way here too. Something that isn't socially normal to you will be normal to us.
There needs to be like a medium. There needs to be give and take on both sides. Like, it's not here to blame certain companies or blame other Korean companies. Like, there just needs to be a middle. Like, people need to put their feet down on certain things and then put their feet down on other things. Like, for example, the Verizon Theater, which is a venue in Dallas, Texas. My first ever K-pop concert was GOT7. They made it completely clear. This was Subculture that brought them. They made this completely clear that there was no photos, no taking photos, no any type of anything. I'm like, okay, for me, that was a new goer to a K-pop concert. I kind of expected that because I knew how concerts run in Korea. So I was like, you know, trying to sneak my little recording here and there, and I saw like not Korean staff, not sub-K staff. This was venue staff, like putting people's phones down, telling them not to record, saying if you record one more time, you'll be out. Yeah. Mind you, fast forward now that was in 2016. Fast forward 2017, I went to to the same exact venue for Monster X, and there was nothing said. And Subculture actually at the same time has not said anything about no photos taken since then. Correct me if I'm wrong, but. Like, after that, like, after they came here and people saw, like, you're not going to stop us. Like, that's our culture, is to record things.
Yeah.
And
they probably spoke to JYP and was like, this is how we do things in the West. You know, they spoke up. Like, for example, like Halo as well. Okay, guys, this was to the audience, not to the press. You can record and take videos for the first 2 songs and that's it. And then everyone was pissed.
Right.
And I was just like, no, but they had to. They literally had to. And then, like, the press, they were like, no pictures. I'm like, I'm pressed. They're like, no. And I'm like, this is not how it runs in this country. If that's the case, if you want to make the money, but you need to put your foot down and say, this is how it is, or your artist is not going to come. But because they care too much about money, like you said, Immy, they're caring about the company more than the fans.
The same thing happened when BTS came for their Wings tour last year, and it didn't happen during the concert. It specifically happened during the sound check. It was the first time they had offered for people to view their sound check during, I think, almost any concert. And the first stop on the Newark tour, you didn't have, like, it wasn't BTS's team. It wasn't, you know, the Korean security. It was the venue security that, like, anybody with the phone out during sound check, like, just automatically they didn't put the phone down. They just pulled them out of the crowd, deleted their footage, and then, like, kicked them out of the arena. They were like, you have to leave.
Wow, really?
Like, they were pulling people out left and right. I mean, like, you could have been, like, pulling your phone out to, like, check the time, to shoot back a text message, and that security guard would, like, take your phone, like, force you to open up your camera roll, and if you had any footage, like, you had to delete it in front of them, and then they'd ask you to leave.
That's how it goes in Korea.
And this is the venue people. And then I only saw it happen for the Newark stop, and then I think finally either they realized that people were going to record anyways, or they just got overwhelmed because every other stop on the Wings tour got to record sound check.
Really? I didn't even know that.
And during the concert too, I was in the pit, like, right next to the stage. They were super picky about who, like, could and couldn't take pictures. So if you had a phone, if you had, like, a small camera, you could take pictures. But fan sites that come over with their DSLR cameras, like, the venue staff would walk over. You know, the Korean staff is just bustling by. They're getting costumes. They're, you know, doing stuff for BTS. They're not concerned. BTS isn't concerned. BTS is putting on their show because that's what they do. The venue staff are coming over and are, like, getting in the people's faces, putting their hands, like, on the lenses of the camera and saying, like, you need to put that down. If I see that again, you're gonna have to leave, and things like that. And it's like, we won't be paid for this privilege. Like, we're up this close because this is what we came here to do. Here to see our people perform. And, like, if I want to bring a camera and take pictures, like, what do you think I'm gonna do with these? I'm not doing any harm. I'm not throwing stuff at the artist. I'm not doing anything
I will
negative.
never
Like,
understand
I'm taking a picture. And I think I honestly think part of the reason is that venue security, you know, security from your own country, they don't always understand K-pop, and I don't think they understand the amount of people when it comes to specifically to fan sites. I don't think they always understand the amount of people in the world who will never get to experience a K-pop concert and who live through those fan site photos because like either the artist will never come to their country or they can't afford to go see them or things like that. And I don't think they fully grasp that. And I feel like the Korean entertainment industry sometimes have a better understanding of that and understand that fans do really, you know, try their best when they can to go see that artist. But all the venue team sees is like, oh my God, it's so loud in here. I don't know who these people are. Like, it's just another group that I don't care about. All these cameras, flashing lights, like I'm going to have a seizure or something like that. Like, and they just like put the cameras down and stuff. They don't really understand the people who are living for these photos and who, you know, like, log on to Twitter, log on to social media, and these photos are like the highlights of their day sometimes. I don't think they get that.
All right, that's it. That's the end of this episode. It's a lot to process, a lot to take in. We talked a lot. So I know we said there's one upload a month, but if you guys are familiar with myself or any of the other co-hosts, you know that we break our own rules and we don't go with the guidelines that we set. So you guys get to be so lucky. People were such a huge response. When's the next episode? When's episode 2? When's this? When's that? When do we get to hear this or that? So since you guys are enjoying the podcast so much via the first pilot episode, again, thank you all so much. We're going to give you 2 episodes this month. So stay tuned for part 2 of Shari's takeover episode. We're going to get more into, concert tickets. We're going to get more into fans. We still have our corner shots sprinkled for you guys. So please stay tuned for the next upload this month. Please check in the description box below. It's all of the co-host information where you want to find us, the videos that we discussed for reference. And thank you all so much for the sprinKle podcast. This is Immy, and I'm signing off. We will see you guys in the next episode.